All right, y'all, here we are. 7 days to 10 years. We are 1 week away, and welcome to day 4 of this little mini series on the Healing Happens podcast. My name is Elsa Karinke. I'm your host, and I will be celebrating 10 years sober in 1 week, and I am just so excited to be sharing little nuggets of wisdom that I've learned along my journey, as well as parts of my story and what sobriety and recovery means to me during this time. So let's get right into it. So today, I'm going to be talking about my opinion on the difference between sobriety and recovery. So these words are often used interchangeably, but in my opinion, they actually have 2 very different meanings. In my opinion, sobriety is literally just the absence of drugs and alcohol. So it is abstinence from intoxicating substances, whereas recovery is the active, ongoing process of healing that happens once you put the plug in the jug or, put the needle down, put the pipe down. And I think this is an important distinction because especially today as, being sober curious or, dipping your toes into conscious sobriety and things like this become more and more popular, it is important to make the distinction between being sober curious and actually being an addict in recovery. And if you actually struggle with addiction, meaning that you have underlying early childhood trauma and deep pain that you are avoiding through substances, that requires a whole other level of healing and recovery to maintain that sobriety versus someone who's just giving up alcohol either temporarily or long term for a healthier lifestyle or, just a change in their anxiety or their mood or to sleep better or to be more present and things like this. And in addition, in the realm of, AA and addiction recovery, it's pretty easy to tell the people who are simply sober and the people who practice their recovery like it is a verb and understand that getting sober is just the first step and then the real work begins. So, when you're for about your first year sober, you're highly encouraged to just stay sober no matter what, and for the first year, maybe even the first 2 or 3 years, that is enough. It is hard enough when you have lived a life where you are used to escaping and numbing out with substances. It is a great beginning to just learn how to meet life on life's terms and meet life moment to moment without escaping and to be present for all of it. Now, in my opinion, that is only enough for the first 3 years maximum. Once you have some time sober, just simply resting your head on the pillow at the end of the night without taking a drink isn't enough. If you are abstinent from drugs and alcohol, but you are a miserable asshole who's not nice to people, who's grumpy, who, is a jerk to newcomers, who's on a power trip in the program, if you can't have healthy relationships with other human beings, all of these kinds of things, to me, it's what's the point of being sober then, I know personally for me, I did not get sober to be miserable. I did not get sober to have shitty relationships. You know, I did not get sober to treat the people around me like trash. I got sober to be free and thrive and live a life beyond my wildest dreams. And in order to do that, I have had to commit to my recovery over and over and over again every single day. And I have had to continually say yes to higher levels of healing as the journey has gone on. Because let's be honest, a lot of people, when they get abstinent from drugs and alcohol, they simply replace that with some other addiction. Whether it's sex, porn, video games, food, shopping, whatever it might be, they're just transferring that numbing and that escapism to another channel. And I don't want to live that way. I definitely have had times throughout my recovery where I have, leaned into other addictions. But for me, I want to be free. And I'll never forget at the beginning of the big book, there's a story about a man who the doctor, like the finest doctors of the time, told him that he would literally have to be under lock and key. Like he was completely hopeless. He would never recover unless he was literally locked up and had a bodyguard. He would never stop drinking. And then it goes on to say later that this man still lives and he is a free man. And he can go wherever free men can go, anywhere on earth, provided that he maintains a certain simple attitude. And I was taught early on that simple attitude was honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. And those three ingredients have proved to be so important time and time again in my recovery, because I have to stay willing. This healing journey is not linear, folks. It often feels like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. But I've had to remain willing to continuously do whatever it takes to heal and be free and stay sober. And I've had to maintain that willingness even when I didn't want to, even when it was hard, even when it was not convenient. And open-mindedness as well. I have sought healing from so many different teachers, mentors, modalities, programs throughout, the last 10 years. And I constantly remain open-minded to new sources of wisdom and new ways of healing and new ways of looking at myself. And that has served me so well also. And honesty, of course. This is back to the episode on total transparency. Honesty and transparency is of the utmost importance. We are only as sick as our secrets. And so if I stay honest, open-minded, and willing to go inside and to excavate and be emptied out over and over and over again, that is the key. That is the key. And it's not easy. It's really not. But being in recovery as an active daily practice has brought me so many blessings in my life, and I am so, so, so grateful for it. Even when it's hard, And I'll never forget this. So, I'm a party girl. I love to party. I'm a total life of the party personality. When I walk into the room, I own it. I'm hype. I'm excited. I'm ready to get down. And I thought that when I got sober at 21, I wasn't going to be able to do that. I was going to lose the connection to that part of me. But that has not been the case. I was literally clubbing in Hollywood at 90 days sober. And I'm not saying that everyone wants to do that or can do that or should do that. But my point in that is to say that I was serious about my recovery. And I pursued my recovery from the beginning like my life depended on it, because it did. That's something I was so clear on from day one. This is a life and death errand, and I have to take this serious AF. And I did. And so I had that spiritual protection, and I had the tools to say no. I had that defense against the first drink that we talk about in the program. And I knew where I did not want to go. And I have this theory that a lot of life is just kind of like this big process of elimination. We have to we have to try things, and we have to experience things, and we have to learn what we don't want in order to get closer and closer to what we do want. And I don't think that knowing what you don't want is enough to create your dream life. Ultimately, you have to be clear on what you do want. But knowing what you don't want is a start. And I do remember waking up for those first few days of detoxing and rehab, feeling like I was gonna die. Feeling like absolute trash. I couldn't walk for my first few days of detox. I was so shaky on my feet that every time I tried to walk, I would fall. I couldn't even drink water because I was shaking so much, and I would just spill it down the front of me. And I was in so much physical and mental and emotional pain that I woke up every day and I was like, there is no effing way I'm doing this again. Just none. This is not an option. This is a one-time thing. I am done after this. Never again. And am I going to experience the anguish of detox? I'm done. And I have brought that same conviction into every single day for the last, nearly 10 years. And to bring it full circle back to the partying, I was talking to my friend Max. We used to work at the same facility together back to back, and it was almost my 30th birthday, so this was 2 years ago. And I just celebrated 8 years sober, and I was going to Miami for my birthday, and I was so excited to party and get it in and just have a great time and go hard. And I said to him, I was like, I wouldn't be sober for, 8 years at the time, now almost 10. I would not have stayed sober this long if I could not do what I love in sobriety. And what I love is to party and have a great time. And so I party and have a great time sober because I am in active recovery every single day. And I am protected because I am so clear on who I am. I am no longer the girl that uses drugs and alcohol to escape, and so it's not even a temptation anymore. And when I said that to my friend Max, he was like, yo, that's actually a pretty good message. You should share that, Because sometimes I was hesitant to share it, especially with people who are new, because I didn't want them to get the wrong idea or whatever. But it's true, like you can do absolutely anything that you want to do in sobriety, in recovery. And I'm just infinitely grateful that I've been able to do that. And the thing that's so funny is that I'm literally the most lit person everywhere I go. People often don't believe that I'm sober because I'm in the middle of the dance floor having the best time. I close down the club. Like, I stay till the very end, last call, when they're kicking everyone out. And then I can wake up and go again the next day, because ultimately, drugs and alcohol only slow you down because you're abusing your body so much. I'm in Miami, like drinking my green juice, doing my yoga nidra, like laying on the beach, going to a day party, and again at night. Because I'm literally just thriving off of the life force energy that is moving through my body. And it's such a beautiful gift to be in touch with that today. So, being sober is not enough. There is so much more to go for by being in active recovery and waking up every day and being honest, open, and willing, and doing whatever it takes to be the best version of yourself day after day after day. And that's where the relationship repairs happen. That's where the career opportunities open up. That's how you become truly happy, joyous, and free. And you can go anywhere on earth where free men may go and stay sober and have a good time and live in your highest expression if you stay in recovery and do the work every single day and continue to answer the call over and over and over again. So, if you are sober but haven't quite been in recovery, according to my definition that I just gave, I encourage you to check it out. Step up your game a little bit. See what might be possible for you. All right. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah.